Hey everyone, welcome back to Math Simplified. In today's video, we'll be covering one of the most important probability topics in IB Math, which is conditional probability. So this topic, it appears very frequently in paper 2, paper 3, and there are various tree diagram questions also which are asked in the papers. So we'll be covering that. Now, by the end of this video, you'll be able to understand what conditional probability actually means, how to use the formula, and how to solve the IB style questions step by step. And we'll also be discussing about the common mistakes that students make. So let's begin. Now, before like diving right into it, let's understand what conditional probability means. So, what is the meaning of conditional probability? Conditional probability means the probability of any event which is happening that we know, given that another event has already happened. So, the keyword here that you have to look for is given. So, what it means that when we are finding out the probability of any event, given that some other event has already happened, then what is the probability for that event to occur? For example, suppose there are 100 students, and out of those 100 students, 60 are girls, like 60 are girl students, and 40 are like boy students. Now, out of these 60 girl students, 18 students study math HL. Okay. Now, if someone asks me a question that what is the probability that a randomly selected student studies math HL, given that given that the student is a girl. So you have to find out the probability that a randomly selected student studies math HL given that the student is a girl. Now, we have to observe that we are looking at the girls now. Okay, so we are only looking at girls. So the total number of outcomes that we'll be having, that will not be equals to 100. So we have to remember it very clearly. The total is not 100 now, it becomes 60, because we are just looking at the girl students. Okay, so if I have to find out the probability of a randomly selected student who studies math HL given. So what we do is we just put a bar over it and then we write it like whatever the probability that has been given to us. Given that the student is a girl, we can find out by that out of 60 students, 18 will be studying math HL. So that will be like my probability. So it will be approximately equals to 0.3. So this vertical line, this horizontal line that has been given to us, that means that it is given. So we write whatever the probability of like whatever the total outcomes that we have under this bar. Okay, so this is how we find out the probability. Now there's a very important formula for finding out the conditional probability, so that is given in your formula booklet as well, and you can remember that as well, like if you solve a lot of problems. So the probability of any event A, given that event B has already happened, is equals to the probability of the intersection of both the events over the probability of the event that has already happened. So in this case also you can see that the probability of A intersection B over the probability of B, which is 60 here in this case. Okay, now this is like the formula which works for conditional probability. Let's do one IB styled question based on conditional probability. So there's a bag which contains 5 red balls, 3 blue balls, and 2 green balls. Now, 2 balls are selected without replacement. So we are not putting the balls again into the bag after we draw them. And I have to find the probability that the second ball is blue, given that the first ball was red. So what I have to find out, I have drawn two balls without replacement from this bag, and I have to find the probability that the second ball is blue given that the first ball was red. So let's solve it like step by step. Now, if the first ball was red, we know that one ball is already removed, right? So what are the remaining balls that are left in the bag? The remaining balls are four red balls, three blue balls, and two green balls, right? So what are the total number of balls that are remaining? We have nine balls right now. Okay, and we want the probability of the second ball to be blue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write the probability that the, or let's write that the second ball is blue given that the first ball is red, right? And what will be the probability for that? It will be 3 over 9, because right now we have three blue balls, but the total number of balls have changed because we have already taken out the red ball. So it will be 3 over 9, and it will be, like, if you simplify it, it will be equals to 1 over 3. So you can notice one thing over here, that because of the given condition, my sample space is changing, right? So earlier I had 10 balls, but now, like, after I removed one ball, I have, like, my sample space is changing. I had only 9 balls. So this is what happens in conditional probabilities. Now, conditional probabilities are used and heavily tested in T diagrams as well. So we'll, like, take up that in the next video. And let's discuss about the common mistakes that students generally make. Always remember that the sample space changes in conditional probability. So you have to remember that you have to, like, change the sample space and write the new sample space. And always remember that, like, in the question, whether you are drawing something or, like, any event is happening, look out for the word replacement. So you have to check whether the balls are being replaced or not, or, like, whatever objects are given in the question. So without replacement changes the probability. Okay, so if you have a words such as without replacement, then the probabilities will change. Okay, so these are some quick things that you have to remember. Now, this was all about conditional probability. If this video helped you, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Math Simplified, and share it with all your IB friends. Also, you can join the Math Simplified WhatsApp community for all the IB resources, important exam tips, practice questions, and many more resources. The link for that is in the description box. And you can also comment which IB Math topic you want to discuss next, and then we can take up that. So, good luck for your IB exams. See you in the next video. Bye bye.